Hello and welcome to Tonalist Painting with M. Francis McCarthy. This is your painter in residence, M. Francis McCarthy, and welcome as well to 25 Days of Tonalism, Volume 2. This is day 10, I should say. I should have said up front, but the painting I've done a study after today was by Birge Harrison. It was called Shady Valley, and I've been really looking forward to sharing this one with you ever since I painted it, really. It's when it was up in the studio, a lot of people were commenting on it, saying, well, that's really cool. And it's a sort of informed, it's a very different approach. And since I've done it, I've been thinking, well, I'd really like to do some things where the color space has been pushed in a certain area like that. So I've been on a as this year, I've been on a sort of a journey in that regard. I've done a lot of orangey paintings, and I've managed to finally nail down that sort of thing. But and then a lot of gold paintings, and I was talking about that last week, either a bronze gold or an orangey gold or what have you. This painting of Birge's is it's in a sort of magenta slash pink space, and or purple. And I really like it, and I haven't actually done a painting that's been in this sort of color space yet, but I'm going to. In fact, I may even try and do something this evening to maybe set up a bit of reference to help inform a painting like that. Now, those of you that follow the video channel here on my blog will know that I do manipulate my reference pretty extensively in Photoshop prior to getting into the studio, and I keep pushing that further and further to the degree that sometimes the actual reference I might be painting from is actually quite garish, but it feeds the painting, and I am, as a human being, the final step in the process. And I found that it's good to have a lot of strong input as a painter. Now, in the old days, the old guys, they didn't have color photography even, so just like humans didn't have Google, prior to that they were better at remembering things, and painters in the past were better at remembering colors, so they might observe a certain color effect in nature, and they would be able to sort of record that in their brain and then play that back in the studio. I'm using technology to accomplish the same sort of thing, and then of course in the studio you can always move things around with actual paint. And one of the things I would say, now I should also point out that this is my second attempt at the audio today. I don't know if something's wrong with my levels, and everything was really crackling and tanking, so you know, whatever. You wouldn't know unless I told you, huh? Anyway, like I mentioned last week, I've been utilizing a program called 3D LUT Creator Pro, and it's not cheap, but it's very, very good at doing these things like color casts to photos and movies and video, actually. You can use this program to grade what's called color grading, and you can see in a lot of modern movies, every scene is graded in some way, shape, or form. I mean, all you really got to do is look at a program like Game of Thrones, and it's a morning scene, everything is blue, you know, or they tend to turn everything yellow or orange or gold. So much so that I don't think people even realize now that this is being done. But if you compare and contrast that with movies that they used to do in the old days, what they would do is they use colored lights to sort of accomplish some of the same goals. But color grading is actually super powerful, and I've been utilizing it extensively in the recent work I'm doing, and some of the pieces you might see in that show. While I'm talking about the show, I will apologize for having to upload the slideshow for the museum exhibit, well, not exhibit, it's a show, twice. I really don't like to put up videos and delete them, but there were about maybe 10 paintings in that old video that didn't actually get hung. I mean, the museum has them in their possession, but I had sort of exceeded the space, and a lot of this is because I've been working towards the show for quite a long time, so I had a lot of work, and a lot of the smaller things weren't put in, which is fine. And actually they ended up hanging 50 pieces. I provided them with 60 paintings, and so I thought it would be good to have an accurate record of that, and also it gave me a chance to go ahead and order the painting order instead of alphabetical order, which the first slideshow was. Gave me a chance to do that in the order that you would walk through the gallery, from the first wall on the left, and then gradually walking around. And it's quite a large gallery. At some point I might put up some video of the actual show. My wife did some videotaping of the opening, and I haven't actually looked at that video yet, but we'll see. I don't think that's as important as actually just looking at the actual paintings in that order, because the lighting of the show has actually been improved, and you can see the paintings pretty well, but with a video camera it's going to be a bit dark, and I kind of think the slideshow is really the way to go as far as a record of what was in the show. And what I chose to do in the that video slideshow presentation was spend about 15 seconds on the painting, which is, I think, enough time. You can always pause the video if you want to spend more time with it, and I'm pretty happy with it. And but again, I do apologize for having put that up twice and making some of you watch it twice. But the second one is vastly improved, and it's actually the first time I've done this for one of my shows. I've had about 4 one-man shows out here, and this one being, of course, the most extensive and the one I'm proudest of, and it looks really awesome. And I have to thank the people at the museum for doing a really good job, and also my rep who worked on it as well, and he did a good job. And a lot of people worked hard, but nobody worked harder than me, because I had to paint all those paintings, and that's well, heck, it's a reward in itself, isn't it? Other things I will get into. I did have a good week in the studio, and I'll get into that a bit more tomorrow when we do a video cast of my own one of my own paintings. But and I know I always feel funny when I say that, because the study you're looking at now is my painting, but it's a painting painted after Birge Harrison, and so for that reason, I don't consider it to be like my own painting, because he's already pre-digested that scene that he's painted. I'm just basically reinterpreting his work and learning in the process. And keep your eyes open, because I really like what he did with the color in this, and I fully intend on doing some paintings, probably not with a scene like this, but with some scenes that are in this purple, red, magenta, rust zone. And yeah, I think that's exciting. And even the greens you can see here, they've got a ton of red in them. I've thrown buckets of red. But I learned a lot from doing this painting, and as I do from all of these master studies, I mean, that's the primary reason I do them, is just to keep learning and keep getting better and stretching myself out, and doing things that I wouldn't do by default. And it's very effective at that. Of course, if I really wanted to go nuts with that sort of thing, I'd be making copies of Picasso's or something. But I'm really talking about people that do the kind of thing that I do, but have done it better in the past. The masters, the tonalist masters. Anyway, so the other thing that's kind of gone on this week is I've got a new monitor, and the reason I went ahead and bit the bullet and did that, it's an AOC, it's a 40-inch 4K monitor, so this thing is ginormous. But the materials I prepared for this show, I really, after years of struggling with my last monitor, which was a nice monitor. I'd had it for 7 years. It was a Samsung 27-inch monitor, and it was a good monitor, especially for its time. But its color fidelity wasn't so awesome, and I knew the places where it was a bit funky, but I just got tired of having to make that mental adjustment. And in many cases, if you can see it if you look at the initial photo that's portrayed in the videos, and then get into the videos themselves. And I have to say that the colors in the videos are generally very accurate, and like one thing that's missing from this is a bit of contrast. You won't always see that because of the even lighting in my studio. Things are a bit more punchy, and you'll see that maybe reflected when you see the photo at the tail end of this video. And that seemed to have gone too far the other way, and that the blacks in it are quite dark and present, but yeah, whatever, you get the idea. And I just needed something with better color fidelity, and it was time. I figured, heck, 7 years, one monitor, that's good. And I highly recommend this AOC monitor if you're looking for a new monitor. What's the best price for specs out there currently? To really do better, you'd have to spend at least, I would have to spend almost $1,000 more to get some sort of professional monitor designed for, color correction. And let's face it, I'm not involved in pre-press or that much actual color type work that's for anything other than my painting. Anyway, that's enough tech stuff. I can see we're getting close to the end. Hey, if you like my videos, click subscribe. I really appreciate it. Also, I really appreciate those of you that comment. That's always good to know that people are getting something out of what we're doing here, and it's rewarding, and it's all about giving something back to the great painters of the past, and promoting tonalism. So I will be back tomorrow with one of my own paintings, so come back and we'll do that. And meanwhile, take good care and stay